Today in Bible videos, we're gonna learn about the story of how King Saul attacked the Amalekites. Are you ready to learn more about it? Let's get started. Saul was 30 years old when he became king. He gathered an army to defend the Israelites against Philistine raiders. Any strong or brave man was added to his fighters. One day, Samuel came to Saul with a message from God. He said, "The Lord is about to punish the Amalekites for attacking and killing the Israelites as Moses led them through the wilderness. You are to go and attack and destroy them, and you must also destroy all their animals too. No living thing is to be spared." So Saul summoned over 200,000 soldiers at Telaim. They moved south towards Amalekite territory, and on the way they warned the Kenites who lived nearby to stay away from the battle and they would be spared. So the Kenites had shown kindness to all the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. King Saul and his army set an ambush for the Amalekites. And the Israelites then attacked the Amalekites as God had ordered. As the Amalekites retreated, Saul's army chased them all the way to the border with Egypt, and no one was spared. And they captured Agag, the king of the Amalekites. But instead of following God's orders, King Saul spared his life and took him as a prisoner. They killed all the weak animals, but disobeyed God's instruction and kept the best of the sheep and cattle. They decided to keep some as plunder and others were to be sacrificed to God. And the Lord spoke unto Samuel, saying, "I regret that I have made Saul king, because he has turned away from me and has not carried out my instructions." Now Samuel got very angry and cried out to the Lord all that night. And early in the morning, Samuel went to meet Saul. And he was told that Saul had gone to Carmel to set up a monument in his own honor, and then he had gone on to Gilgal. And finally, Samuel saw Saul, and Saul said, "I have carried out the Lord's instructions." But Samuel replied, saying, "What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears? What is this lowing of cattle that I hear?" Then Saul explained that the animals had been plundered from the Amalekites, but the best were to be sacrificed to God. And Samuel replied, saying, "God sent you on a mission to totally destroy the wicked Amalekites. Then why did you disobey and plunder?" But Saul protested, saying, "But I did obey. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag their king. And the soldiers took the best sheep and cattle, but the very best of these are for sacrifice." But Samuel replied, saying, "Does the Lord delight more in sacrifices than obeying him? To obey is better than sacrifice, for to go against what you are told is like the sin of witchcraft. Not to obey is like the sin of worshipping false gods. And you have turned away from the word of the Lord, so he has turned away from you being king." And then Saul confessed, saying, "I have sinned, and I was afraid of the people and listened to them." And when Samuel turned to go, Saul took hold of part of his clothing, and it tore. So Samuel said unto him, "Today the Lord has torn the rule of Israel away from you and given it to someone who is better than you." And Samuel then executed Agag, the king of Amalekites, himself. After these, Samuel returned back to his home and never went to see Saul again. The end. And I hope you had fun learning the story of how King Saul attacked the Amalekites. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more Bible videos. Bye.